These are the comic books I love to collect, and this is how I love to collect them. Hey there, today I have a CGC unboxing video, and in this video I'm going to open up a shipment from CGC of 15 comic books that I sent off for professional grading. Before that, I sent them to Palm Beach Presser for professional cleaning, pressing, and appraisal. And really appreciate Palm Beach Presser, Ron, working on these books for me. I sent the books to him with my own sort of screening estimates. He took a look at them, went to work, and then forwarded them on to CGC on my behalf. As always, I don't look at the grades that CGC gives to the books when I get that notification that my books have shipped and they're on their way back to me. I like to wait to do the unboxing, to create these videos. It adds an additional element of thrill and excitement for me. I'm going to show you the books that I got, talk about them a little bit, and it'll be fun to kind of see what grades the books get. What I'll do is I'll share my original screened grade that I gave to the book, and then talk a little bit about the grade estimates and some of the notes that Ron provided. That's an extra service from Palm Beach Presser, so definitely check that out. And now I want to open this up and show you the books that I got professionally graded by CGC. Okay, everything packed really well by CGC. I really appreciate that. And if you're wondering how do I kind of unpack these without seeing the grades, what I end up doing is taking off the piece that reveals the back of the comic and that it's upside down, so I can't see the grades, you can't see the grades. And again, makes it more fun for me to reveal them. So let's go ahead. And the first book is Wonder Woman 154. This is from DC Comics from 2000. It's an Adam Hughes cover. He did a number of these covers for Wonder Woman, and this is part of that run. This is a book that I had in my original collection, but this is not the actual book itself. When I first went into the garage pre-COVID, just on a whim, and started to bring my collection in my house, and I started to go through my original PC, the very first thing I did was I started picking out a handful of books to put on eBay because I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do, if I was going to sell or collect again. And my original intent was to consolidate just some stuff I had in the garage. And this was one of the books that I threw up on eBay early on, and I probably sold it for $3 or $4. And it's one of those that I had maybe a little bit of regret just because I'm an Adam Hughes fan, Wonder Woman fan, and so forth. And so I sent this off to Palm Beach Presser. I had originally screened this as a 9.6. Palm Beach Presser gave no notes, and he said 9.8 probable. So let's see, Wonder Woman number 154, and it got a 9.8. Off to a great start. Sometimes this can be a tricky cover to get in high grade. It's an all-white. Typically, if there's any solid color, for whatever reason, those are the covers that are particularly tough. Or anywhere where there's really a solid block of color. And this looks super sharp, super nice. Thank you, Palm Beach, for your work on this one. And if Adam Hughes ever does a signature series event at CGC, this would be a great one to get signed, as there's a lot of space on both sides of the cover here. So really, really nice start. Wonder Woman 154 getting the 9.8. Okay, next, I'm trying to figure out where to put my hands so I cover the grade. It's so dumb. Next one is Doctor Strange number 61. This is from 1983. I have always had a fondness for this one because, as I think officially I'm a Tomb of Dracula collector at this point, this issue features Dracula. He's right there on the cover. Dracula, Doctor Strange. Really, really wonderful there. Also, Blade appearance. This one looks like super nice. And I had originally sent this off to Palm Beach Presser, having pre-screened it, a 9.4. Here's grader notes. Awesome. He says, came out beautiful. Love that one. That's a new one for me. Appreciate that, Ron. Love it. 9.8 probable. So, Doctor Strange number 61. It got a 9.8. Fantastic. Awesome. So already getting the grade bumps on the first two, and Ron is absolutely right. This is gorgeous. Really, really nice. And I think this is probably an example and it's something I wanted to do that I'll have to start at some point, of like photographing each book like in a lot of detail and then showing you a before and after. Sometimes it's tough to show you the after in the slab itself when it's in the plastic case and the reflection and the glare. But what I'm always trying to look for are books that have the typical non-color breaking pressable defects, waves in the paper, potentially, stress to the spine, yes, but if it's not breaking color, or it's just maybe it looks like some slight folding, anything around the corners, things like that, I jump at the chance to send them to Palm Beach Presser and have him work on it. And I remember that was one of those where, it's a strong 9.4 near mint copy, but just needed a little bit of extra love and attention to get it up there. So already really, really nice to get those in a 9.8. Okay, next, G.I. Joe time, Snake Eyes time. G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, number 53, Marvel Comics, November 1986. The gorgeous 25th anniversary border on it. I mean, my goodness, just this was one of those, again, I carried everywhere. Not my original copy. My original copy was pretty beat up and rolled and folded over, and it took me a little while when I first got into comics to start to bag and board them and really appreciate maybe the collectability of them. It didn't really hit me until a little bit later, and when I just had my pile of G.I. Joe comics and Transformers comics, they were all just lying around in piles. I eventually got a short box and put them in there, but didn't really start bagging and boarding comics until much later. So all of my originals are somewhere, mid-grade. They're all reader copies, and so it's been a lot of fun being an adult to go back and find these, because just the visual, it's Snake Eyes, a yellow border in the middle. There's not much else to it other than the anniversary border, which I would just stare at and wonder and look at the detail. And I was always fascinated on the little amount of detail, but the fact that it had so much detail in each of these characters, and the character box, corner box, all of it. It's just super nostalgic and fun for me, and was happy to get a copy of this. I know some collectors are out there trying to get all of the 25th anniversary border comics. Maybe I'll do that someday, but this is going to be a centerpiece if I do decide to pursue that. G.I. Joe number 53, I'd given a 9.0. Palm Beach noted minor spine corner wear seen from the back, but dramatic improvements. Awesome. Once again, thank you for that. And the grade is a 9.8 minus. I think I joked last time, feels like all the 9.8s and the 9.6s should be graded 9.7. So this is probably one of those cases. So let's see, G.I. Joe number 53. I'm still getting used to holding this with one hand. And it got a 9.4. Oh man, what a bummer. It's too bad. So maybe that's the new 9.8 minus is a 9.4. I'm not sure. But nevertheless, it looks like a really, really strong copy. It does look like it came out nice. I'll have to check and see if there are CGC grader notes. I'll include them here just to see what it said. But this looks like a 9.8, just as good as any. Really tough on this one. Still love it. Great book. Just didn't get the grade. Okay, and then just keep moving on, and so we'll grab the next one. And, this will be a fun one. This is Marvel Comics Presents number 72. This is not a huge key or a big book or anything like that, but maybe these three don't really fall into those like higher end key books, but I am trying to be a little bit more mindful and careful when I'm sending shipments off and deciding on which books to get pressed and graded, because I am trying to really understand, like, maybe with the market the way that it is, sending off these books that are around that $40 to $60 value, just not making much sense anymore. A few years ago, those $40, $60 books were $70 to $100, and it was making sense. So I'm trying to find books that have a little bit more appeal. Certainly value is always great, but this is a book that if you're a Wolverine fan, Weapon X, Barry Windsor Smith, anything like that, this book is really super cool. This is the first issue of the Barry Windsor Smith Marvel Comics Presents Wolverine Weapon X story. This carried over into several issues because these Marvel Comics Presents, I believe it was 4 stories in one. So there were only like 6 to 8 pages dedicated to each story, depending on if there were ads in there. I don't remember. It was kind of an odd thing for me when I was collecting. Barry Windsor Smith was one of those artists that grew on me more over time than at first. So this story was always a little bit difficult for me to get into because the art was challenging for me. But then, of course, I had more of an appreciation for Barry Windsor Smith here, especially this cover. Really, really interesting cover here. The primary colors and everything, just great use. And this became quite popular. I think it's mellowed out. It's not as sought after, but still, books like this trying to elevate a little bit in terms of the collectability and value of some of the books that I'm sending in, since I am investing a lot of time and money and a lot of Palm Beach Presser's time to work on these. Now, I had originally screened this one as a 9.2. Palm Beach Presser noted a small chip at the bottom spine corner visible from back. And it's small. It's there, but it's small enough. So let's see if CGC dings us for this one. So I gave it a 9.2. And Marvel Comics Presents 72. CGC gave it a 9.6. And yep. Okay, so that one little chip is probably what did it in. Oh man, it's tough. The book from the front cover just looks amazing, super sharp, really strong colors. And also what's fun with these Marvel Comics Presents books is you also have a back cover pinup illustration here. Red Wolf, Shauna, and Daredevil as well. Alright, so that also is a bummer. We'll just keep upgrading, so I'll upgrade that 9.4 to a 9.6. And we'll get the next one. And it is Web of Spider-Man #1. I almost started laughing here just because I've sent this one in a number of times. And I will do this with books. I just get stubborn, and I keep trying to find high-grade copies, and I keep sending them in, and they're all in that 9.7 or 9.6 plus, 9.4, 9.6. They're all in that range, and just hoping that I can land the 9.8. Another one similar to Wonder Woman 154, you have a book that is dominated by lighter colors here. A really surprising Charles Vess cover that has stuck over time that, Web of Spider-Man, it was the third Spider-Man title, and people really collected and loved Amazing Spider-Man. Spectacular Spider-Man maybe was more of a character-driven or street-driven, and then Web of Spider-Man came along, and it was also quite different and kind of was the third tier book. But this first issue with the Charles Vess cover, amazing. I think he did a few more, but this is the one on the first issue, and it's just amazing. It's a first issue, memorable, awesome cover, but for whatever reason, difficult for me to get in a 9.8. However, I had screened this as a 9.6. I just didn't feel like sending this book in a 9.8 pre-screen. I really don't send books that are now 30, 40, coming up on 50 years old for a 9.8 pre-screen. For whatever reason, I just feel like there's always going to be something with the book, if it has never been pressed before, that could be improved, and just try not to take that chance. Even if it's close, I go ahead and invest a little bit of additional time and money for the pressing. Now, this one, 9.6, Palm Beach provided no greater notes other than 9.8 probable. Let's hope that this is the one. Web of Spider-Man #1, all the way back from 1985. Did it get it? Yes, it did. 9.8, finally. All right. Super happy with that one. Thank you, Palm Beach Presser. Just great. I mean, this is going to sit right next to Spider-Man versus Wolverine. All those great Spider-Man books that I collected back when I was collecting comics for the very first time. Tremendous. Finally got it. Web of Spider-Man #1. Looks great. Thank you so much for that one, Palm Beach Presser and CGC. All right, the next one, this is Alice Never After #2. We've got a little Adam Hughes theme going on here. We've got the Wonder Woman 154, and now this book, 23 years later, the great Adam Hughes, still working in comics today. A little bit of feedback that I received on the last couple of CGC unboxings where I was saying, oh, it's kind of like a mixed bag, and I'm getting kind of a mixture of grades. And one of the recurring themes in the comments was like sending books of the same era or more specifically, sending books to CGC with the same like physical structure of the comic, the paper style, paper quality, sending books essentially with the glossy paper and then the next book having that original like kind of newspaper print style. So this might be the last submission. I know there was a shipment I just sent to Palm Beach, and I was a little bit more mindful where I tried to group books that all came out within like the same 5 to 10 year span, and they were all like newspaper print. So I probably won't be doing much of this in the future where we've got books from 1985, 83, 2000, and then a book from 2023 that just came out. This to me was an absolutely stunning Adam Hughes book. This is the Boom Studios full art variant. It is a retailer incentive, and I believe that I gave it a 9.6. Same thing, just didn't feel like it was really worthy of a 9.8 pre-screen. It was important to me to try and get this in a 9.8 as an Adam Hughes fan. Palm Beach Presser noted vertical printer roller lines or ink streaks on the back cover. Now, the back cover is completely dark, so thank you, Ron, for that assessment. I totally missed that, so hopefully that won't be held against us here. Alice Never After, number 2 from Boom Studios 2023, and CGC gave it a 9.8. 9.8 white pages on this near brand new book, and this is stunning. Adam Hughes, I know you like to watch my videos. These are 2 that would be perfect to send your way for signature among many others that I have, but awesome work. Thank you, Palm Beach Presser. Really great fun to have this one in a 9.8. All right. So pretty good start there. Let's keep it going with a couple of other modern books. And this one, as I move my hands around for you, this is Department of Truth number 12. This is from 2021. This is the Heat Seekers Comics edition. Now, Department of Truth has a crazy number of covers. Variants just for about every issue. It actually makes it quite difficult to collect. Not because there are so many variants, it's because there's so many awesome variants. And some of these store exclusives, they're limited. They have a limited print run. And this cover, when I saw it, this cover by Jay Ferguson was stunning. And I tracked down a seller, I think it was on eBay, and they happened to have a listing where you could specify the quantity. So they clearly had more than one. And so I bought 2. And when I got them, I thought that they were in pretty good shape, but just again, because of the structure of the book and the paper quality and having some waves in the book, things like that, I really just felt like I would rather go ahead and get it pressed. I had made the investment to get it. I think this is just a stunning cover, really nice addition to my Department of Truth collection. Now, I had assessed both of these as a 9.6, and I just, spoiler alert, just gave it away. I did end up sending both copies into CGC, so we'll do these one at a time. Both were 9.6s screened by me. In both cases, Palm Beach Presser did not leave grader notes, and CGC graded this one a 9.8 white pages. Very cool. And there it is, up close. Really fun, like playing card variant, but the woman in red there, Jay Ferguson art, he's tremendous here, but just for whatever reason, one day I remember seeing this cover and just loving it, and decided to maybe add a little bit of insurance where I wanted to make sure I had 2 copies, and I figured having an extra copy might increase my luck and probability of getting a 9.8. So same thing, Department of Truth number 12, 2021, Jay Ferguson Heat Seekers Comics edition, and the second copy also got a 9.8. So thank you, Palm Beach, for helping me push this one over the line to get the 9.8. Really, really nice. Love that cover. Okay, now we're going to bounce around. This is where I'm mixing eras and different styles of paper and comics. Secret Wars, number 4, 1984. It is no secret that I'm trying to get the full run of Secret Wars in a 9.8. The Secret Wars 8 is going to be the big one, the challenging one. I would say maybe I have 5 of the issues in a 9.8, missing Secret Wars 8, number 1, and number 4. This was always a cover and part of the story where the heroes are trapped and Hulk himself is trying to save them all by himself, and really gave Hulk a lot of purpose, which I thought was kind of charming in the story, that he wasn't just beating things up and Hulk smash and all of that, that he was more of a protector here. So I've always had a little bit of a fondness here of the Beast, the character that people think is a true monster, but in his heart is really trying to protect everybody. So I can kind of relate to that, frankly. 1984, Bob Layton on cover art here, one of my favorites, being an Iron Man fan. Iron Man, Bob Layton kind of go hand to hand. So Layton and Zek were tag teaming at this point. And Secret Wars number 4, this one I'd given a 9.4. Palm Beach noted a rough cut or wear at the top outside corners. Yep, I can see that. Oh, even more so on the back. That's going to be tough. And this is, again, one of those cases where, is it a manufacturing issue? Is it really cut from when the paper was cut, or is CGC going to ding it from wear and tear? So let's see. He ended up giving it a 9.8 minus. So you're telling me there's a chance. And Secret Wars number 4 got a 9.8. All right. So one of my missing issues for the run. Thank you, Palm Beach Presser. This is great. Love it. Boy, I can't wait to finally have the full set together. So just tremendous. It's just, the reason Secret Wars holds a special place for me is I've done a lot of research and learned about the backstory. I've listened to interviews with Jim Shooter, and the whole focus on the toy line being kind of the priority, and it was almost like we want to create toys and make a story out of the toys, but they're characters from comics. We're not creating new characters and toys. That's the whole toy element, the marketing aspect, the story itself. It is very Doctor Doom centric. And then with the upcoming Marvel films, there's still some speculation that the Secret Wars films, I think, if I had to bet, there's certainly going to be, I think, more centered around the Jonathan Hickman run. But I've heard recently that it may pull some elements from the original Secret Wars. It might be a combination. Who knows? It could just be one big free-for-all. But for me, the whole mega crossover. I also played a role-playing game with my friends where we drew characters and created stats. I mean, it's crazy. So really important series for me that I'd love to get graded all around. And I did send up one more. This is Secret Wars number 12, the finale of the 12-issue limited series. This is Mike Zeck on cover here, featuring Doctor Doom without his mask. So quite shocking here. The all magenta cover, as I mentioned, when the cover is really dominated by one solid color, and it always seems to be susceptible to damage or just visible indicators of color loss and things like that. This one I also had screened at a 9.4, and Palm Beach Presser said there's one small color break at the center spine corner wear with fibers. The bottom corner. Oh, this one's got 9.6 written all over it. The bottom corner just is a little soft. I think there's just too much color loss. So I had originally screened at 9.4. Palm Beach is saying, he's saying 9.4 probable. Okay, so he's actually saying that this one could have a little bit of too much color loss. Let's see what CGC said on Secret Wars number 12. Okay. I'm going to zoom in here so you can see it. Right there. There's no way. I mean, I've had... the 9.4 that I got earlier, or the 9.6 of Marvel Comics Presents 72, looks so much better than this. That's a rough corner. Maybe I could send this back to CGC and get it regraded accurately as a 9.4. Oh boy. This is where, I don't get too crazed or too upset when I don't get the grade, because sometimes I'll get a 9.8. And I've done these unboxings before where I show a 9.8 and I look at it and go, nope, I can see a crease. I wouldn't personally or professionally grade that book a 9.8, but for whatever reason, maybe that's the only defect. I don't know. I'm kind of making excuses now, but I was going to say some small amount of defects, or that one single defect. I feel like, okay, if there's nothing else, we'll give it a 9.8, but if there is something else, then we'll start marking it down 9.6, 9.4. I don't think that's the best looking copy of Secret Wars 12 that I've seen in a 9.8, but it adds to my run. Super happy. And thank you, Palm Beach, for your honesty. He graded a 9.4. I too, I probably would. I mean, now that it's been worked on, I feel like a 9.6 is probably what that book should have gotten. All right, let's jump way back. This is Amazing Spider-Man 140, and this is from 1975. I love doing this. The cutoff for modern books is 1975, so I love buying books from the mid 70s, mid to late 70s, because you can submit it at the modern tier. And so I decided to send it to Palm Beach Presser first, and I had originally screened this book as an 8.0. Now I have to think about why did I send this to him specifically as an 8.0. I typically don't do this, but looking at his grader notes, a faint 3-inch color break at the bottom right corner. Yeah, and it is super faint because I don't see it. Spine corner wear with fibers, color breaks on the spine. I do see the color breaks. So this will be interesting. Like I said, I try to at least see books that are in the 9s or have the chance to get into the 9s. So this might be one of the lowest screen books that I've sent him. At least like when it's if it's a big key or a grail, obviously like an 8.0 would be tremendous. But this is a common book as part of the Amazing Spider-Man run. He estimated an 8.0, 8.5. Let's check it out. Let's see what CGC said. Amazing Spider-Man, number 140. 7.0 white pages. Oh, that's brutal. It's still a great book, but boy, whew, tough. I'll have to see. I mean, you'll see the value I'll put on the screen, but I didn't think it was that bad. But CGC thought otherwise. 7.0 for that one. Yeah, and then this falls into that range of like, should this book have even been graded? Should we have held it back? Sold it raw? Of course, now in hindsight, I think I would do things a little bit differently. But still, the reason I don't mind sending in Amazing Spider-Man, there's always collectors looking to fill runs of the more, top 5, top 10 Marvel or DC series. There's always those collectors that want to have every issue. So who knows? Maybe someone will want to take this off my hands. I don't want to display this in front of any 9.8, so let's just hide it back here. Do that and put the ASM. Let's just pretend that never happened. Ron, you never saw that. It's all good. Let's just let's get a different one. Let's move on. How about X-Men 110? This is from 1978. Phoenix joins the X-Men. Dave Cockrum, Terry Austin on cover. Chris Claremont story. Love it. So with Amazing Spider-Man, trying to amass as much of a graded collection of Amazing Spider-Man as I can. Same with X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, the Claremont issues in particular, I'm very interested in. And this one, this was an 8.0 for me that I held on to. Has some value in an 8.0. I sent it to Palm Beach Presser. He took a look at it, and he said there's a 1/4-inch tear at the top edge, light spine corner wear with fibers, rounding, small pieces missing at outside corners. So this could be that ASM 140 all over again. Just giving it a quick glance, I can see the tear, and if there is like a tear or a piece of the page missing, you'll really get dinged by CGC. I should have saw that before. I still felt like it was high enough grade where maybe it could potentially move into a 9.2. But let's see what CGC said on this one. And 9.4. Wow. Okay. Huge. That was a big bump up from that 8.0. Really nice. Great. Okay. So I was like already kind of acting defeated there. But this one, wow, 9.4. So I just want to look at my notes again. So the X-Men 110, I had given it an 8. Palm Beach estimated 9.0/8.5. Noting some tears, and I was going on and on about tears and 8.5, and it also got white pages. That's really nice. Okay, book from 1978. There it is, X-Men 110 in a 9.4. Very, very nice. Oh, that looks great. Yep, X-Men, awesome. Thank you, Palm Beach Presser. I'll take that grade bump. Lovely, great work. Okay, I have 3 more to go. I want to be a little selective here because these are 3 pretty good-sized books. Let's start with this one. Star Wars Heir to the Empire #1. First appearance of Grand Admiral Thrawn in comics. This is the adaptation from the Timothy Zahn Heir to the Umpire. Heir to the Umpire? From the Timothy Zahn series Heir to the Empire. I was just going to call myself out and say strike three. Dumb. Anyway, Heir to the Empire #1. This is a Dark Horse Comics limited series. I talk about these limited series. I like these storylines and series. It adds like a nice finite goal of collectability, nice bookends at getting a whole series graded and so forth. The story behind this one, other than I was chasing it, this was also a big COVID book. This book I think got well over $1,000 in a 9.8, and I was like, oh, forget it. And then there was the rumors of Thrawn and live action, and when was that going to happen? And we finally did see him, and then it was disappointing. That whole thing. Speaking of disappointing, I bid on this book at auction, and then I couldn't tell from the scans, but when I got the book back and I looked at it and started screening it myself, to me, it looked like there were a number of scratches on the book. So imagine like you've got this really nice glossy cover, which these are, and then you have maybe like just tiny little pieces of material, or even like the tiniest of pebbles or something that's like sitting inside your comic book bag, and then you would go to put it in the bag and it would just streak the book just slightly on the gloss, like almost cutting the gloss. I don't know if that would be considered manufacturing or not, but I often like do this and make sure that always my bags and boards are super clean when I bag and board a comic, because I don't want anything on. I don't use used backing boards for that reason, because I don't want anything to cut the cover or streak it in any way. This was one that I did talk to Palm Beach Presser about. We had a good discussion on it. He ended up, through this discussion, convincing me that this is a book that he wanted to take a look at and work on. No grader notes. His estimated grade, a 9.8 question mark. I'm not laughing at you, Ron. I'm laughing at this whole process in CGC of 9.7s and question marks, and who knows what CGC is going to do is really kind of the commentary behind that laugh. But here we are. I had given the book a 9.0, and the reason that I did is because I had an issue of Canto that I sent a long time ago, sent it off to CGC, and it got a 9.0, and the grader notes was that on the back there were vertical streaks on the book that cut either the paper or the gloss or whatever that book, cardstock, I don't remember. So I remember that experience. I gave this a 9.0. Palm Beach gave it a 9.8 plus. Let's see, Star Wars Heir to the Empire #1 from Dark Horse Comics, and CGC gave it a 9.4. Yeah, okay, so we're kind of splitting the difference here. I'm still happy I have this book. Amazing, tremendous. I love it. 9.4 white pages, but I'm betting just that and I can even see it through the slab, there's just these like little faint scratches or streaks on the front cover. The book itself looks great. I mean, there's just a touch of color loss that could have contributed, that probably brought it from a 9.6 to a 9.4, but I still love it. I'm happy I bid on it. Looks great in the blue label. There he is, Thrawn, Heir to the Empire #1. So that kind of closes the case, closes the story on that one. Now, let's jump back to X-Men. This is X-Men 96. This is from 1975. As I mentioned, this is technically classified as a modern book in terms of the pricing tier from CGC. This one, I don't have a giant size X-Men, but I do have an X-Men 94, and I'm thinking like I could potentially put a really nice CGC graded run of X-Men 94 and maybe just run the whole Claremont run. So I would need 95, and this is 96. I had also won this one at auction. I had high hopes that it could be improved. I had screened it as a 7.5. Palm Beach noted several color breaks on the spine and general corner wear at all corners. Fantastic eye appeal until you look really closely. I've gotten the same comment that I have fantastic eye appeal until you get up close and see me. So I can relate to this comic book's appearance here. Okay, here we go. X-Men number 96. Did it get a grade bump up from a 7.5? We have a solid yellow cover, Sal Buscema, Dave Cockrum on cover, Chris Claremont, historic early X-Men. Here we go, and CGC gave it an 8.5 white pages. All right, not the 9.2 that Palm Beach estimated, but yeah, I think there was just a little bit, there's just too much spine damage. It does look very, very nice and presentable, and the colors, the yellow, also matching the three characters at the bottom here, all of the yellow really blending in nicely. And, you know, X-Men 96 and 8.5, this is probably close to kind of what my budget would be on this one. Would have been really tough to... I knew it wasn't a 9.8. There's just too much color loss. It did get white pages, so there is that. Thank you, Palm Beach, for working on this one. I will take the 8.5 and very proudly display it in my run of early X-Men issues. Okay, here we go. Last book. I mentioned it earlier. It is probably going to be the most challenging book to get in a 9.8 for my run of Secret Wars. And a little foreshadowing. Secret Wars number 8. It is the first appearance, the symbiote alien costume. There it is, Peter Parker as Spider-Man wearing the cover. Just a actually quite shocking cover at the time. Now there's probably 1,000 different like Edge of Spider-Verse or symbiotes or Venom variants, Carnage, everything you could imagine symbiote related. But this was the first time, the first appearance, and at the time too, we didn't know yet that it was a true alien costume. We didn't realize that until the issue of Amazing Spider-Man where Reed Richards discovers this. So there was a lot of mystery, intrigue. Back to my commentary about the toys, they could now sell a new Spider-Man toy. You could get it in the red and black costume and the variant black and white costume. A really important book. Mike Zeck on the cover here. I bid on this one. I noticed it was miswrapped, and I was hoping that the miswrap would protect the spine, and I really felt like if I could send it to Palm Beach, he could take a look at it and do his best. Now, the thing was, when I got it back, I had screened the book myself, and I gave it an 8.5. I was pretty tough on it. Palm Beach's notes on this one, nothing really wrong with the book except dull colors. That has also been a comment. Ron, are you commenting about me or the books? I, too, have been said there's nothing wrong with me other than I'm a little dull. I mean, I think I'm on to you. Weak ink saturation, especially noticeable along the top edge. Slight tanning on the back edges. Also, I have a little slight tanning on my back edge. Hey, now. All right, so enough of that. 8.5 is what I screened it. Palm Beach Presser gave it a 9.6 question mark. Okay, here we go. Last book in this submission. Marvel Superheroes, Secret Wars, number 8. And CGC gave it a 9.8. All right. Oh, that's tremendous. I swear I didn't look at the grades. I was trying to foreshadow that this would be a difficult book to get in a 9.8. Yes, I didn't imagine that I would get it. Thank you, Palm Beach Presser. Really appreciate your collaboration and your work here. Man, tremendous. This is so awesome. 9.8 of this one. Makes me super happy. What a great collection of comics here. Love it. Like I said, these are the books I collect. This is how I collect them. I hope you enjoyed this CGC unboxing. I know I did. There were some ups and downs in there, but overall, again, some lessons to be learned, some great books to be submitted, and trying to find the books in the very specific condition that would make sense to go through this process is what I love to do. Thank you for watching. Happy collecting, and see you next time.